Hum hum hum. Hum hum hum. Oh, I didn't actually realize this was a reference or a hint until now. Yeah, this is a hint for telling you to hum repeatedly with Shiren. Yep. So that's another useful in-game hint for a fun hidden thing. Determination is not human exclusive, Jackal, though it is mostly human. Humans in general all have at least some amount of determination. Undyne has determination in all the time. It's not just genocide. Undyne definitely has determination. What exactly this means is a little bit of an exercise left for the reader, but almost don't even just want to talk about the music, but that's okay. Another thing to note about this area is the use of save points. I mean, you've been trained through other games and through this game that when there's a save point, there's very often a boss coming up. This is named Last Corridor. I think we can save over it at this point. I think we're good. So that's named Last Corridor. You walk down here, when you see Sans pop out, you think you're probably going to have to fight him, maybe, or things like that. Yep, I would basically agree with Rule's interpretation there in large part with what you guys are talking about, that from what you can tell, oh god, sorry, with Flowey and what he tells you is, he loses his ability to save when you show up. And he's like, well, that's interesting. Let's kind of see how this turns out. And then he kind of formulates a plan to regain his power, and he could never convince Asgore in any fashion to show him where the souls are, but he thinks you can, and then when he can get all of the souls, he could maybe feel again, or become a god, or any number of things. He doesn't necessarily know exactly what he wants to do with that power, but it's better than his current existence, and he can kind of help use you as a pawn. That's part of why he's like whispering stuff to Papyrus and stuff like that to try to manipulate what's going to happen. But in any case, once you're here, Flowey can no longer use the save, but before you're here, and the other fallen humans would be somewhat implied that Flowey could still be able to save, and Flowey had more determination than the other humans did. But you have the most determination of all, player. So once again, yet another save point, implying like a fight right about to happen. Oh, another thing I'll note in the fight to come and a few other special fights, the game kind of enters what's been dubbed serious mode, where a lot of the kind of like naming jokes of items go away. Instead of being called Butts Pie, it's just called Pie. Things along those lines. The noodles don't take a million years to cook. So there's just a lot of subtle things done to tweak the atmosphere to keep the kind of serious nature of those situations and those fights. So that's another just subtle thing that is used to very carefully craft the experience in this game, and it's super well done. So we touched on this a little bit a long time ago, but I believe the only characters in the game that ever say howdy are Asgore and Flowey. So just another note that Flowey is related to Asgore there, and there's kind of the picked up on his speech patterns and stuff like that. Another really subtle thing, but pretty neat. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. Perfect weather for burning in hell. Or a game of catch. He does actually try to kill you, Nern. Asgore is perfectly intent on killing you. Papyrus isn't killing you. Alphys isn't trying to kill you. Undyne is trying to kill you. Asgore is trying to kill you. So once again, we've got the save point. This this the fact with the repeated save points kind of helps like it keeps like kind of jumping up your expectations a little bit and playing with what you're expecting to have happen. It's like, all right, you had the last corner to save point, you had the save point below the throne room, you have this save point. It's like, all right, well now we're definitely going into the boss battle right now as soon as we come up here. But instead, so, yeah, I mean, this fight and some of the stuff to come after this, once again, kind of ties into the overarching determination theme of this game pretty strongly. So that's definitely a thing we see in full force here. We've talked a little bit about the use of color in text. Now, this is the first spot where there's actually color used in the fight itself. And it's very striking, very powerful. So once again, Asgore being super nice about this whole thing. It's like, we've got to fight, but I really don't want to. I mean, he's both nice and cowardly about it, I guess you could say, to some extent, but... And the destruction of your mercy button is one of the most, I guess, kind of strongest scenes in the game in a lot of ways. That it's just like, what the hell? He you can't, especially when a lot of people really do not want to fight this guy at this point. Even if they've kind of casually killed a few people at this point, as long as they've, like, I would say 90 to 95% of people playing this game actively do not want to fight Asgore at this point. If by chance you have any unfinished business, please do what you must. Yeah, we kind of already have reset the game like 237 times, Asgore, so, you know. A strange light fills the room. Twilight is shining through the barrier. It seems your journey is finally over. You're filled with determination. Goodbye. There's one thing about that I think should be changed. So when Asgore kills you and you talk to him, it'll say, you tell Asgore that he's killed you once before. He nods sadly. I do not think that should be done the way it is, because it ends up being too much of a red herring. People see that number increasing, and they're like, oh, well then it must be meaningful. I've seen some people purposely die to him like 10 times in a row, or specifically 7. There's at least 2 people I've seen die 7 times in a row because there's 7 human souls. They thought they would die 7 times in a row and see if that does anything, so... I kind of wish that at least capped off sooner, or did something to further emphasize that it's not actually meaningful or important. Other notes here. Oh, if you talk to him 3 times, it does specifically say Asgore's attack dropped, but it also specifically says Asgore's defense dropped. And that being the second message, I think is helpful to further emphasize, no, you actually do have to fight him here. So I think that's a good subtle thing there. He won't directly kill you because he doesn't exactly want to, even though he knows he kind of has to. So his penultimate attack will always bring you to 1 HP. That both adds to the tension of the battle, it relates to Asgore's character, and helps it feel less like BS deaths. You got that little, even if you're at 2 health, you get knocked down to 1, and you have another chance to maybe dodge or heal before you're out of it. Of course, you've also got the note that the text on the game over screen is in Asgore's voice, if you will. That's actually basically Asgore talking to the first fallen human. Of course, another thing to note that we didn't talk about yet is Asgore isn't even looking at you. He's got his head looking downward. He does not want to do this, but he feels he has to. I just want to see my wife. Another note here, another pretty hard-hitting line if you've killed Toriel. And of course, a very nice touch here with the mercy button is all kind of cobbled back together. from the broken pieces. Watch Asgore's face if you've never seen this before, by the way. Just that parting smile. So, killing people is actually fine? Sure. I'm glad we agree on the value of a life. I've learned so much from you. Though, are you really gonna keep doing things halfway? The amount of people you killed, it's honestly disappointing. You idiot. You really can't do anything right. Let's just do this again, and see what Flowey has to say this time. Well, let's get this over with. Why do you keep coming back here? Oh, I get it. You want to be friends, huh? You're pathetic. You really think I want to be friends with you? You really don't get it, do you? There's only one person I could care about anymore. And even then, I couldn't truly care about them. I just like to think there's someone out there. Someone that I won't get tired of. Someone like me. Say, quit looking at me with that stupid expression. You're pissing me off. So yeah, there's another thing here, which I guess due to some of the other shenanigans isn't actually going to happen. But just ... is all we get from there. But yeah, so Asgore instead, I've actually seen people get this legitimately, like streamers and stuff. I've seen someone do a normal playthrough and then a fully blind follow-up pacifist run that they went to Asgore, spared him, and I guess I'll just paraphrase, or well, we've got access to the real stuff pretty easily. Why don't we just get the actual dialogue here? Eating butterscotch pie. We could be like a family. No. That's just a fantasy, isn't it? Young one, when I look at you, I'm reminded of the human that fell here long ago. You have the same feeling of hope in your eyes. There is an ancient prophecy among our people. One day, a savior will come from the heavens. I believe the one that was prophesied was you. Somewhere in the world outside, there must be a way to free us from our prison. It pains me to give you this responsibility, but please, take my soul and seek the truth. And then he kills himself. Ha, ha. I'm sorry. I couldn't give you a simple, happy ending. But I believe your freedom is what my son, what Azrael would have wanted. So you're here again. What's wrong with you? Are you trying to start the Flowey fan club? Because if you want to join that, you'll have to talk to Papyrus. Yeah, he started one. A few different times, anyway. I won't lie. He's one of the better characters to mess around with. It took me a long time to get bored of that one. Yeah. Talk to him about it. But, yeah, so that right there, if anyone has looked at the official merchandise for Undertale from a Fangamer, there's a little pin you can buy that says, like, Flowey Fan Club. And you gotta wonder, like, you gotta expect that most people don't actually realize there's a reference to the Flowey fan club inside the game, because you have to, like, kill Asgore like 4 times to make that actually happen. Well, if we're losing frames, now's a time that doesn't matter, fortunately. I assume it's just gonna be brief, and Big Pala, who cares? So, did you start the Flowey fan club? I'm just kidding. I was watching. I know you didn't. But I don't care. Really. He probably would have invited his garbage brother. You know, smiley trash bag. Say, if I have one piece of advice for you, don't let his brother find out anything about you. He'll, well, let's just say he's caused me more than my fair share of resets. Stay away from that guy. That's probably the most interesting tidbit right there of what we're showing off here. We gotta be tapping like inner too, right? That's the speedrun tech. Oh man, look at, we can go through these even faster now. Why do you keep coming back here? You don't really want to be friends, do you? No, I get it. You're just like me, aren't you? You don't care about anyone. You're just bored. You just want to see what I'll say. So you can laugh and throw me away like a broken toy. Well, too bad. I'm not like everybody else. So, from now on, you're not getting anything. So, if we do it one more time, he will say a very familiar phrase that is completely appropriate and really the only thing he can say at that point, right? Don't you have anything better to do? But, and of course, just in case people are not following, why I say that's completely appropriate is because if you reset at the beginning of the game, repeatedly to screw with Flowey, he ends up saying, don't you have anything better to do? And if you keep talking with Azrael indefinitely, when he's in his original form, then he eventually says, don't you have anything better to do? Another, this is another moment, like we've talked about how a lot, we'll talk about that more in just a moment, but a lot of what Flowey does feels a little silly, and well, this is good too. The picture here is different, so that's important. Long ago, and then one day they all disappeared without a trace. Additionally, the window title, instead of saying Undertale, it now says Flowey Tale, and of course you've got all the numbers maxed, and he started a bleak black wasteland here, but so. That the game closing, like, I can just from game sense and the way the game's been going and stuff pretty naturally like pick up, okay, yeah, that was on purpose, and that's pretty fitting to what Flowey's doing here, and that's kind of cool, and also kind of annoying since I'm streaming, so I'd have to reopen the game. But that the game closing there freaks people out a lot, man. If when they aren't expecting it. I kind of wish, like, chat's usually really fast to say, it's intentional, don't worry about it. I wish people, like, let it drag a little bit longer to fully savor that impact, I guess, but that's okay. Another thing that I feel like it does fully tie back into determination. You have to stay determined to keep playing the game. A lot of, like, some people don't even really want to relaunch it. They feel like, oh, did I just lose the fight progress I just had and stuff? But no, you have to stay determined. You have to reopen the game. You have to go back through here. Then this is nice bait. Yeah, you got get the fake save point. I've never tried to walk up here before, so figured I might as well assume it's nothing. Indeed, fire breathing. I think the game closing is also further impacted by the fact it's just like, come on, like Flowey just showed up and killed Asgore. This is bullshit, and then the game closes on top of that. So you're already kind of emotionally, I don't know, stilted a little bit, and then that happens. Then this is a nice impact too. I've seen people like be very afraid with the final erase part. It's again a lot of the experience here is like in a game full of crafted experiences. This upcoming fight is an especially crafted experience, and it's definitely one that to some extent suffers a little bit with the most jaded and most experienced game players, but it ends up being a better experience for other people, so I think it's a good thing overall.
And then, with my newfound powers, monsters, humans, everyone.
Note those three exact words used in succession like that: monsters, humans, everyone. There's a lot of places in this game where they reuse text for very, very powerful effect, and this is one of them. When you start your fight with Undyne the Undying in a genocide run, she's basically like, no, like, this isn't just about killing Asgore. Monsters, humans, everyone. I need to protect them from you. You're going to kill them all. Further pulling in the comparison that, well, the character that that you hate so much, one of the most easily hateable characters in a game, is the same as you are. Let's see, I'll talk a few more notes about this fight since it's kind of intense and hard to talk during the middle of. You kind of see these little claws at the top of the screen. They start moving down and they're moving all crazy, and then it like fills the whole screen. It's this crazy looking silhouette. The TV pops up, and then you're like, huh, okay. And then the eyes get crazy and bloodshot. It's like, okay, that's a little creepy. And then it goes full color. It's like, oh god, what the hell is that thing? This is, of course, further emphasized by the fact that this is the first time in the game they ever use the higher res images at all. Everything else is the pixel graphics, and for the Mega Flowey fight, it's these high res graphics that are crazy as hell looking. Other interesting notes are that even if people have been pretty pacifistic the entire time, they will not hesitate to be fighting Flowey. The concept of mercy pretty much goes out the entire window after what Flowey's done and how much they hate Flowey. So as soon as that fight button pops up at the bottom, people are jumping right on that fight button to smack it as quickly as possible. I've only seen one person ever try to spare Omega Flowey. So yeah, the overall design of the fight is set up so that it feels completely overwhelming and feels kind of like awful, like the game's just screwing you now. But it helps keep it, it's not actually that hard, so it feels incredibly intense with while still being a challenge you can overcome. So as it turns out, most people end up dying in the fight about 2 times or so. As we talked about, kind of the downside to the setup of the fight and how it's designed is that it ends up feeling a little cheap and kind of lame to really good experienced players. Like, really good players can easily think that they can't even die in the fight at all, even though you can in fact die. and stuff like that. But that cost is worth it for crafting a better experience for the masses, I would say. So we're gonna die a few times. He's got probably a lot to say. Yeah, so there's the slow eyes, and then the full reveal with the laugh, the creepy laugh on top of the visuals, and then you might not even be at the keyboard like to this point, and then the fight starts and stuff's just flying at you. And it's like, oh god, you see how much damage those first 2 hits take, and that's what really adds to making this feel like a complete nightmare. You can take 13 hits here, by the way, if anyone that's curious how many hits you can actually take. We're taking damage on purpose now. I almost made it to the next phase by accident when I'm trying to die. And then this here's a nice touch too. This is all just a bad dream.
And you're never waking up!
And of course the game closes again.